Hi friends! Say hello, Bentley. Ooh, are you ready for more phonics? He's so excited. I know I said that I would have a new setup, but it turns out the whiteboard that Mr. Schilling got me is like humongous, and I tried to lift it and put it in the basement by myself and I cannot. And Mr. Schilling is an essential employee, so he is still going to work, but we are being as safe as possible. So he's not here right now to put it in the basement for me. So we're just going to do another lesson from the kitchen. So fingers crossed it goes good. We got Bentley here again, so he is a little crazy. He might be barking, but we will do our best. So let's go over those sounds again. Scoot that over. Remember, these are our short vowels, so they make our short vowel sounds. So we have A, apple, A, E, ed, eh. Make sure you're saying it out loud. I'm listening. I, itch, it. O, octopus, off. U, up, up. See, there he is barking already. You love short vowels, don't you, Bubba? We're going to pause for a potty break. Okay, so remember, we also have our crazy A, and this one sounds like a short O. It's A, wash, squash, aw. And the reason we say wash, squash is to help us remember that after a W and a QU, this A is going to say aw. So go ahead and try that. A, wash, squash, aw. Wow, good job, guys. Let's go over our digraphs. We have WH, whistle, CH, chin, ch. SH, ship, sh. TH, thumb. CK, sock. And then we have our trigraph. Remember, we talked about how our trigraph and our digraph sound the same. So we have CH, chin, ch, and then we have TCH, catch, ch. So remember, this one comes right after a short vowel at the end of a syllable. Okay, I went to get our poster. So far this year, we have learned a lot about closed syllable. That's when there's consonants, one vowel, and then consonants closing it in. In this example, we have one consonant C, our vowel A, and then one consonant T closing it in. So we have cat, which makes that A short vowel. So we've learned a lot about our closed syllables. And then our exceptions are when we still follow that same pattern. We still have consonants and one vowel, but that vowel is actually saying a long vowel sound. So that's how we mark that up. That's how we mark up our closed syllables. So let's go over some of those closed syllables. Those are down here. So we have ILD, wild, isled. IND, find, eind. OLT, colt, olt. OLD, cold, old. And OST, post, ost. Good. All right, then over here we have our glued sounds. So I'm just going to go over the sounds and then you repeat after me. So we have all, am, an. Ink, ank, onk, unk. Ing, ang, ong, All right, the next thing we're going over is our homophones, or sound-alike words. They're up here. So I'm going to take the phone down and get a little closer for you while we go over those. Okay, so our homophones, remember, are words that sound the same, but they're spelled different and they have different meanings. So we have witch, a person who has magical powers. I dressed up as a witch to scare my brother. Witch is used to ask a question when there are several possible answers. Which candy do you like? Then we have right, the opposite, Something that is correct, also the opposite of left. Am I on the right page? Write, to create words or letters on paper with pen or pencil. Write your name. And then we have no, a negative response to a question or something that is not true. No, you can't go to Sky Zone. And no, to understand something completely. I don't know the answer. Okay, so remember, my floors are a little squeaky, so every time I move around, you're going to hear a little bit of a squeak. All right, so our last bit of review is for our, sorry, these don't stay in my ears. Our last bit of review is for our suffixes or our endings. We learned about that right before we left, so we're catching up. So remember, when we are tapping out words that have a suffix, we are only tapping out that base word. So if I had dogs, I would only tap dog. I would do d, a, g. I would not tap that suffix, just like we don't mark up a suffix, we just circle it. And then you mark up your base word. But we will do some more review with marking up once I get that whiteboard. Woohoo! So we have two types of suffixes. We have a vowel suffix. You're right, you guessed it. That is with a suffix that starts with a vowel, so like ES. And then we have our consonant suffixes, which start with a consonant, like if we just had S. So we use S and ES typically when we want to make words plural or show that we have more than one of something. So for example, if I had blocks, first I would tap out block, block, and then I would try to figure out the suffix for that. So take a second and try to spell block. And then make sure you put the suffix on to make it blocks. I don't know if I'm tall enough. Okay, so I have the and then I have k, k. Who can tell me what I am going to spell k with? Is it going to be a C by itself, a K by itself, or a CK? A CK? What? How did you know that? Because it comes at the end of a word right after that short vowel block. Nice. And then I am going to put an S on the end to make it plural, or blocks. Blocks. Okay, let's go ahead and spell that back. We have B, L, O, C, K, S. Blocks. Nice job. Okay, then we are going to talk about ES. So remember, just kidding, I'm getting ahead of myself. When S is a suffix, it can either say S or it could say Z, like bugs. Now I wouldn't spell bugs, B-U-G-Z. I would spell it G. So it might say Z, but it's still an S. So remember, S can either say S or it could say Z as a suffix, okay? B, U, G, S. Okay, so we are now going to talk about ES as a suffix. And ES as a suffix to make something plural is going to say is. And only certain letters get ES. Those special letters are, S, X, Z, CH, and SH. So if a word ends in these and you are going to make it plural, it gets ES instead of S, okay? So let's do some examples. Let's do bosses. So first tap out boss. Remember, we aren't tapping out those suffixes. So we have b, a, s. All right, go ahead and spell it. So I spelled it B-O-S, and I thought to myself, that kind of looks a little silly, doesn't it? Then I remembered bonus letter. If a word ends in F, L, or S, sometimes Z, and it's right after a short vowel, it gets a bonus letter. So let me add my bonus letter. There we go. That looks much better. So now I want to make it bosses. So since it ends in S, it gets ES. So how does it look? Bosses. Beautiful. So when I was talking about when you're marking up, you circle the suffix and then you mark up your base word. So let me show you what that looks like. So I circle my suffix and I mark up that base word. So it's a closed syllable because it has a consonant, vowel, and then consonants closing it in. It also has a bonus letter, so it gets a star, and that's our brev to mark our short vowels. Hey, nice job. Okay, let's try boxes. So tap out box, B-A-X. Now take a second to spell box. And then add your suffix to make boxes. I hear B-O-X. Box. And then I see that it ends in an X, so that means it gets ES. Boxes. Okay, if I were to mark that up, I'd circle my suffix. It's a closed syllable because it has a short vowel and a consonant that closes it in. Beautiful. Okay, let's do one more with ES. Let's do lunches. So tap out lunch. Lunch. Okay, then spell lunch and add your suffix for lunches. Does it look like this? L-U-N-C-H-E-S, lunches. All right, go ahead and try marking it up. Okay, so I circled my suffix and then I'm just marking up my base word. So I gave it a closed syllable marking. It has a short vowel and it has consonants after it, closing it in. And we have a digraph, and it's actually a digraph blend. That's when a consonant blends with a digraph. So the N gets its own underline and the CH does too. You guys are so smart. Okay, the last thing we have to talk about are words that don't fit the patterns. For S and ES, or something a little different happens. They are called irregular words, or words that aren't regular because they aren't following our pattern. Our first one we have is the word half. So that's how you spell half. And I want it to say halves. What you actually do, which is so crazy, is if a word ends in F, sometimes, not always, we take away the F, replace it with a V, and add ES for halves. Crazy, not following the pattern. So remember, that is words that end in F. It's typically words that end in LF too. So my other example is wolf. So I have wolf. There you go. And I want to change it to wolves. I actually get rid of that F. Add a V, E, S. Crazy. All right, some other crazy words are words like fish. So if I wanted to say I caught more than one fish, guess what? It's still fish. How crazy. I wouldn't say fishes. That's not correct English. Don't say fishes. So fish. So if I said I caught one fish or I caught 17 fish, right? So my sentence could be that Mrs. Schilling caught 27 fish while Mr. Schilling only caught one fish. Okay, so the last thing we are going to talk about are a couple other words that don't follow spelling patterns by adding a suffix. They actually just change kind of a vowel or the ending, which is wild. Okay, so the example is man to men. So man means one and men means many. So I would say the man yelled to the men, yay, it's Friday. So one and many. And then my next one is child. So if I said I tutored one child, that means I'm only working with one. But if I wanted to say I am tutoring many children, I wouldn't say childs. I tutored childs. Doesn't sound good. You would say children. So child is one and children is many. I miss my children. I miss you all very, very much. So our last thing are some words for you to spell or try spelling. So remember, you can pause me at any time. So feel free to pause me. First, you get some practice words from last week. So I want you to spell ditch, bolt, swamp, kind, and trend. Our new words with some suffixes, Bentley's so excited to spell, are splashes, champs, pucks, rings, wishes, and taxes. Good luck spelling those words. You guys are going to be great. Next week we will do a Zoom that has a practice with Fundations. So I can't wait. Practice your words, practice your spellings. That's Bentley telling you to practice too. He knows it's important.